Oh.
So what's on the
Ryan.
agenda?
Well, I'm sharing this to Ryan. Well, first of all, this is the CouncilCast number 20, and today we have a viewer with us, Ryan Thurman,
Woo.
our only viewer. So the first item on the list is still Pat's review of the HTC One, and since I put that on the list, Pat has not shown up. So the next thing on the
Hasn't that
list,
been on the list for like 3 or 4 casts?
it has. I think
It's
it
been
might
on.
be-
No, it's been like 10.
Yeah, it's been a lot more than 3 or 4. But the second one is Matt's review of the Nokia Lumia 928. So if this goes like Pat's, maybe Matt will never return to the podcast.
Maybe you should just stop scheduling things for people to review.
Apparently,
Maybe that's the problem.
either that or we need more people to review stuff. We need our visitors to review stuff, our guests. So the next thing that's on the list was the repairability of the HTC One, which I think I'm just going to skip.
It's pretty much nil.
Well, actually, that's false. You and like everyone else, including iFixit, believes that the One is basically next to impossible to repair. But apparently they were Nokia. Well, who was it? One of the HTC senior managers apparently said that they actually have a special tool to disassemble the One. So it apparently allows them to remove the back cover and give them access to all the components inside. So whenever that hits the internet, people will probably have a much easier time replacing stuff.
Interesting.
Which is actually kind of nice, because I thought that was their unibody design. And a lot of the times they'd have those screens, they'll just glued onto the rest of the chassis.
So it's not a full unibody?
I guess not. I mean, I don't know.
Interesting.
If you look at it, that there's like the center part in the back that kind of is like a different color.
I don't know.
I wonder if like that piece comes off or something. I don't know. Or maybe when they refer to back cover, they're referring to the body of the chassis and actually removing the screen.
That would make more sense to me.
But I mean, I think that's actually really nice. I mean, if companies are making these things and they have a special tool to repair it, I would like to see more of that, because that's the one downside to a lot of these phones that people complain about, is with the unibody and sealed-in battery design that nobody can replace batteries. With good reason, but if it's easy to replace, I would assume that you could pay someone to do it relatively cheaply.
Probably.
Unlike Apple's deal, well, I guess it's not that bad. I'm assuming you guys heard about this, that you can take your phone, if you broke the screen, to an Apple store, and they have a machine that replaces it for like $100.
Apparently I missed that one.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if it's available everywhere or not, but they were starting to roll them out. I didn't actually put this in. Apple repairs broken screens.
Nice work. You're talking about something that's not even on the schedule.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't remember. Oh, here we go. Apple stores offer iPhone 5 repairs. Sorry, I misquoted it. $150. It only applies to iPhone 5 screens, it looks like. Whereas the previous repair would require like sending in your phone, and apparently that was like $230 if you didn't have Apple Care. But apparently they can now do it in store for $150. Which is a pretty decent price. I guess if you have an iPhone, which none of us do, because they're all a piece of shit.
I have an iPhone.
You don't have an iPhone 5.
No, but I've got an iPhone 4S. Not by choice.
Well, hopefully you don't break it since you don't use it, right?
Pretty much.
So, I think we talked about this like a long time ago, but Honda was tasked with making a lawnmower, or it was proposed by Top Gear to find
Top Gear.
the world's fastest lawnmower. And apparently Honda has unveiled their lawnmower that goes 130 miles an hour.
Jesus Christ.
I saw a video that Top Gear put up of the Stig driving it.
Yep.
It's freaking ridiculous.
It apparently can go from 0 to 60 in 4 seconds.
Yeah. The video that they had up, it just has the Stig casually driving through the grass along a track, and then all of a sudden he goes fucking zipping by.
Oh, here, actually, yeah. Oh my god, there's a minute-long video. But basically, Honda, I'm assuming they just took a engine out of a motorcycle and threw it in a...
That would probably be the easiest way to do it.
I mean, I'm not sure if it actually cuts grass.
I doubt it.
Then it's not a lawnmower.
I think the
Well-
video with the Stig on it didn't have a deck on it, so I can't imagine you can cut grass very well without a deck.
Well, there's this one that they have here. They apparently say that its cutting cables do work, but you have to slow down to 15 miles an hour.
You mean you can't cut the grass at 130?
So yeah, you can't really cut the grass at 130.
That's disappointing.
I wonder if Honda would ever sell this.
No.
They have a commercial for it,
They've got a marketing promotion for it.
I suppose. That'd be awesome if they did sell it. Matt should totally buy one.
I probably would.
There's a guy that I know who really likes cutting grass. Maybe he would like it. Although, so here's the thing though, even if you only had to slow down, I was thinking about this. So 130 miles an hour seems ridiculous for a lawnmower, but what if you were running a lawnmower business, and you know how usually to go to places you have to load your lawnmower onto a trailer, drive your truck and trailer over to someone's place, offload it. With this you could just drive your lawnmower there.
And get pulled over.
Well, make it street legal. I mean, as long as it was street legal and you licensed it, you could just drive it. I
was more referring to going flying through town at 130 on the mower.
Well, I'm assuming you don't have to go 130. You could drive it at a slower speed.
You mean it's not 130 or 0?
I hope not. That would be kind of dangerous. Next up, I guess we got a bunch of Google news. Google this week announced that they are shutting down Google Latitude, which might not be a big deal for people, but I actually was a big user of this. Did anyone else?
Too.
I don't think I ever used it. I think I registered for it at one point, but I don't really remember what it was used for.
I used it for a while, but my friends list kept on getting deleted, so I said, fuck this.
Yeah, I mean, so I agree with you. My friends list got messed up. Basically, what Latitude does is it just, you can be friends with people and you can see friends on it and see where they are. But I mean, I didn't really care about that unless you had a family and you wanted to see where your family was, I guess. But I think the important thing was it could show you your location history, which would be done automatically. So whenever you're moving, it would know that and it could upload it. And I believe they had a third-party API for it. So you could see it like every time I go somewhere, like this last weekend when we went to Matt's, I can pull up my location history to see where I went, what route I took, how far I went that day, anything kind of like that.
So it's essentially like the tracking feature on a lot of GPSs, except for it automatically uploads to a website.
Pretty much.
What it did. Oh yeah.
Plus the ability to become friends with people and see their location. So if you are a user of it, what do you do now, right? And I guess Google's answer is that you now have to use Google+.
That's their answer for everything.
Yeah,
Google+.
Plus. It's worse than that because Latitude, you could let it run in the background and it would just run. What they're doing with Google Plus is if you wanted to track where you've been, you actually have to check in to a location. So you have to actively be updating it, similar to Facebook check-in or Foursquare or something like that.
So they're essentially downgrading the features and forcing you to use Google Plus to do it.
They're getting rid of features and making it more like Facebook because that's obviously the better solution. However, I do think last I know they did say that if you did want the location history tracking, at least if you had an Android phone and the latest version of Google Maps, it would still be able to do that, which I don't have, so I'm kind of screwed.
Well, the easy solution is to get an Android phone.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. The easiest solution would be Google actually making apps for Windows Phone, since they apparently don't want to do that. I tried to look into some alternatives. There's some other locations.
You could be like Matt and try to make your own app for it.
I could, but then I would have to actually run my own location tracking server.
You have your own server, a lot of other stuff anyway.
Fair enough. I did look into some others though, and there's this app called Glimpse, but there's nothing that really, as far as I can tell, does location tracking. Everything I've kind of seen is just being able to share your location with someone. So Glimpse, the way it works is that I have the app. I would be able to send, if I was traveling to you, Dave, I could send you a link to my Glimpse location, and then I can set how long you can see it. So I could say, okay, it's going to take me 3 hours to get to your place. You can see my location for the next 3 hours, and then you could visit the link, or if you had the app, you could look at where I was. But as soon as the 3-hour time frame expired, you wouldn't be able to see where I was anymore.
So pretty not the same.
Totally not the same. But if you were sharing your location a lot, it would be nice. But I'm not, so I really don't care. Ryan, you can't play games.
What?
It's not acceptable.
I was in Kerbal Space Program before. I just switched games.
So? Has anybody gotten the new Gmail tabbed interface yet?
I have not.
Yes.
You have?
I've actually had it for a couple weeks now.
What do you think?
I don't know. I can see where it could be useful with people who want to stay organized, but I'm already organized enough that for me, it just looks kind of too flashy. Just because, like I said, I already basically do something that does that already.
Right. I'm not really familiar with how it works. I'm assuming the way I understand it gives you like an inbox tab and then a bunch of other tabs.
Yeah, I guess the easiest way to explain it is basically it sorts stuff into folders as it comes in. That's basically what it does. Or tabs rather than folders, but it's, I don't know, it's like I said, it's kind of weird. And then since I already sort everything into folders anyway, I was like, okay, so you're just doing this redundantly. It's guessing.
So is it? It's essentially something like labels, but doing it itself.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that sounds a lot like I don't know if you ever used the labs, but the smart labels.
Yeah. It's a lot like smart labels.
It sounds a lot like that. My question is though, so if I'm using a third-party app for my Gmail via IMAP and something comes into one of my non-inbox folders, is that going to be synced down to my device or my email client?
I would imagine so.
Or is it treating them like a archive, like a label and archive when it goes into those?
I don't know exactly. I would imagine you wouldn't have problems.
Not sure. I don't have the update yet. I've just kind of seen it. I know that there's also been some complaints that there's like a promotions tab or something like that.
Yeah.
And apparently there's been a lot of, I don't know who it's coming from, but there's ads that have been getting through or coming in that are basically just ads that look like an email.
Yeah, I saw a post about that today, but I don't have the new one, so I can't confirm or deny.
I mean, that just seems like, I mean, I guess it is okay if you have those separated into the promotions folder, but I mean, I don't really want to be filtering, like if it's already filtering my email, I don't want to be filtering my filtered email yet.
Yeah. It seems like they're just adding a bunch more clutter than that's actually needed.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's something that maybe people are, like Anthony, already doing.
Yeah.
Like, I've been using labels and stuff and sorting all of my stuff for a very long time.
Right. I mean, and most people who are using Gmail probably have been doing that for a very long time.
Yeah.
Does it apply the tabs to email that already exist in your inbox then? Or is it only new mail?
New mail only, I believe.
Okay. So, I don't know.
Because I've got the new filters, but I don't have the new interface.
What do you mean you have the new filters?
Like the promotions and those filters.
Where do you see that at?
On the left-hand side, like where I have a normal folder.
The hell? I don't have that.
Yeah, I don't have that either.
See, I thought that they were supposed to be rolling. Last I knew, they were rolling this out to everybody.
I found it. If you go under more, there's a called categories.
Categories.
Updates and stuff.
Holy shit. I apparently have 117 updates and 308 promotions. Unread.
I don't.
Wow, this is completely ridiculous and not useful whatsoever.
Oh, that would explain where half of my deal stuff has been going. I didn't even notice that I wasn't getting it, but it was filtering out like my, because I get daily emails from like Bike Nash Bar and stuff on sales that they have on biking gear and stuff. And apparently it decided to filter it into promotions instead of the label section that I had already established.
Well, looking at this, the filters actually don't seem that bad.
Yeah, like all the stuff that it has, it makes sense to, like all the promotion stuff that it filed is stuff that I had already signed up to get, but it was flipping it to something else, so I wasn't actually seeing that I got it.
Well, mine looks like I've gotten all of these. Like, these emails all look familiar.
Yeah, like all the stuff that's there is familiar stuff that I'm supposed to be getting, but I didn't even notice that I had gotten it because the labels folder didn't say that I had new emails, but it was hidden under this promotion thing that I didn't even know it existed until like 2 minutes ago.
Huh. I can't tell if I have... This is weird. Huh. In any case, also coming to Gmail is a full screen compose window. So you know right now if you click like a new email compose in Gmail and it pops out that little thing.
The little chat window type thing.
Yeah, kind of in the lower right hand corner if you have it turned on.
Yeah.
So apparently they're coming out with an update to that allows it to kind of be a full screen version of that.
So people didn't like their current one.
So I'm trying to figure out how that was different from what it was before. I mean, wasn't that a full screen?
Yeah.
Although I guess, well, I don't know, you could pop it out before though. Yeah. So enabling this option will push the compose window to the center of your inbox and expand it across the majority of the screen for a better viewing experience.
So they're essentially.
I don't understand how this is any different from what it was
originally
before.
set to do.
Yeah,
That's what it sounds like.
that's exactly what it sounds like. So good job, Google.
So they seem to just be adding features that were already features that they've removed.
Hey, let's remove a feature and then add it again later, and then it'll be awesome.
And everyone will be so excited.
New Coke.
Yeah, new Coke, Christmas Coke. You know, this is actually one of my biggest complaints about Gmail right now, is that they constantly have been adding a bunch of random shit to their interface and their way things work, that it's just become like, it's a lot to keep up on, number one.
They're also consolidating a lot of stuff. They had like 3 or 4 different chat programs running across their entire environment. Like they had GChat, they had the video hangouts, they had the text hangouts, and just they're trying to combine them all into a more localized and central system because redundant software is stupid.
Right.
Shouldn't be running.
And that makes sense, but I mean, it seems like, I don't know, I guess, what is Google really trying to do? Are they trying to make Gmail into Google+? Because that's what it kind of seems like.
If they end up doing that, a lot of people are going to switch to something else.
And I mean, and I don't have problems with updates, Dave, to programs to make them better, but I mean, it's like a constant update. All the time, there's something new. It's like going to Facebook and having a pop-up saying, oh, hey, we changed something again for the millionth time. Would you like to read about it?
What the? Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah,
No.
I can.
Okay, because it has a little dialogue above the video saying it sounds like I'm typing, so we muted your mic.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. If you're typing, it will mute
I'm
you.
not typing.
Might sound like you're typing.
The only thing that I could think of is because the fan on my laptop ramped all the way up.
Oh, that could be.
That's the only. Oh well. As long as you can still hear me, that's fine. I don't care.
So, in other similar Google news, Android apparently had a rather large vulnerability lately, which was apparently so bad that it was around since 1.6, and it allows basically any hacker to get into your system and do anything they want to.
I did not see that.
That's fun.
It was called, they were calling it a master key exploit, which dated back all the way to Android 1.6, which allowed a developer to circumvent software security measures. So basically, they could install anything on your device and run it without any security checks on it.
Oh, but it had to you manually install an infected program, correct?
Not, I don't believe so. I believe it could actually install an app without you actually knowing that you had installed an app.
So, but you install an app, and then this thing installs another one on top of it without you knowing.
I'm not really sure. I don't really know how it works. Because so part of the problem is that the people who found it haven't actually told us how it works. Let's see if I can find anything. Yeah, okay, I think you're right. So yeah, so you would have to actually install an app.
So that doesn't bother me as much.
It doesn't, except for the fact that they can mimic a real app, and it could look like a signed app from like their example is even if the software itself is signed by the manufacturer of the device, applications signed by that same key are thereby able to do anything that the system software can. So anybody could steal these signatures and use it for their own, so you could install something that you wouldn't know would not be correct.
But there's still user intervention.
Well,
the initial app cannot automatically install itself.
Right.
You
wouldn't have any idea if you were on the Android Play Store and you just downloaded a free app. You would have no idea if it was if it had the exploit in it or not. I mean, yeah, if you just installed no apps, you wouldn't have a problem.
Because the people installing random apps is not something really that big of a deal unless you're using a third-party store like a lot of Asian countries use.
Right, but this is actually in the Google Play Store.
Has it been found in the Google Play Store?
Yeah. It's apparently a problem between Android and the Google Play Store. It can steal the codes that it can steal those security codes that allow you to verify in the App Store that the app is good. That's the problem. Android's code signing can be bypassed, basically. But in any case, if you're concerned, This does affect 99% of current handsets in circulation. But Google has apparently been patching it. So some of the newer devices that are out, like the HTC One, apparently have been patched, and I believe like the Galaxy S4 has been patched. But if you want to check the people who found the hack, which is Bluebox Security, they apparently have an app that is available in the Play Store where it will check to see if your system has been patched yet or not. And it is called Bluebox Security Scanner, if anyone needs to check. Let's see. Do you want to talk about the new Verizon phones?
All I saw was that the new Droid Max, which has a massive battery.
Yeah. So, Motorola and Verizon announced three new phones. Yeah, three new phones today for their Droid line. They have the Ultra, the Mini, and the Max. And like you said, that Max is claiming a 48 hours of battery life.
Which is very impressive, if it can.
Yeah, I don't remember what they said.
What's the normal battery life of previous phone?
Which defined previous
Just
phone.
anything in general that makes 48 hours now impressive.
That makes 48 hours not impressive?
I said that makes it impressive.
Oh. I mean, I think it's generally agreed upon that the previous Droid Razr HD Max, or whatever the hell it was called,
Droid Razr Max HD.
Yeah. Was probably the best and longest lasting battery. I'm trying to see what the battery life was on that. Razr Max. Specs. So the Droid Razr Max HD has a 3,300 milliamp hour capacity. I'm not sure what that translated to. Max HD. I guess the old claim was 32 hours of battery life for the Droid Razr Max HD. Yeah. So they improved it by 12 more hours, basically. Or, no, 16 more hours. Basically, they threw in a whole half a day extra.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive, then.
So, as impressive as the battery life is, though, however, all their new phones apparently are running all 720 only screens.
Which, you know what? Who cares? The screen's tiny.
It is, what, a 5-inch screen?
I mean, I've got a less than 720 on my my phone, and I really can't see that big of a difference as far as quality. It's like it's fine.
I think if you were looking at it on a case-by-case individual basis, like you have your phone and you're always looking at it, it'll probably always look fine. I think 720 is fine. I mean, mine's a little denser than 720 at whatever it is, 4.5. But I think you're not going to notice a difference unless you actually hold a 1080 and a 720 phone side by side. And all you're going to get is just a little bit more crispness and those fine details, which, again, the majority of people, they're probably not even going to notice. I mean, I think...
Yeah, so it's one of those things where you're not even going to notice unless you're really, really trying to notice.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, you're not going to notice it unless you actually have them side by side, and you're probably doing a super, super close look at them. But apparently, some people care. I blame the iPhone. So they got new phones. I think they're supposed to be out end of August or something like that. And the newest big feature, I guess, is that they are apparently touchless. So you can now talk to your Droid phone and basically tell it to do things without actually touching it and turning it on. So they're calling it OK Google Now, if you're familiar with OK Glass for Google Glass. And like I said, it basically allows you to speak commands to your phones. And Google is apparently talking about pushing this out to more phones than just these that are coming out.
Wait, so you don't have to do anything at all to give it commands other than talk to it?
Correct. So
what's preventing you from accidentally giving it a command when you're like talking to somebody?
Nothing. Unless you have, if you're familiar with Google Glass, if you start Google Glass, you have to say, "Okay, Glass, do something." So here, unless you frequently say, "Okay, Google Now," in normal everyday conversation,
that makes more sense. It's similar to the Kinect,
yes.
Xbox stuff, where you have to say Xbox off or whatever.
Right. So, I mean, it would be a problem if someone knew you could do this with your phone and they came up to you and started saying, "Okay, Google Now, do search for gay porn," or something like that. And it would just all of a sudden pull up awesome links on your phone. But apparently they have that, and the other thing is that they have this active display, which apparently it allows them to turn on just a part of the screen to give you notifications without turning on the whole display.
So we'll just turn on part of it to show you a notification.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
I don't really see the point in that.
I mean, I guess it makes sense, but
I guess it saves a little bit of power to play.
yeah, I mean, the difference is, like, I don't know if you guys know about the Nokia phones. In their newest update, they have what they're calling glance screen, which does something very similar, but they're doing it because they're using AMOLED displays. So you can just turn on individual pixels one at a time if you really wanted to. But the idea is that you could double tap on the screen and it would pick that up and it would turn on just like the clock in your notification area. I think that'd be more useful because I don't know. I mean, if you get a notification and it turns on your screen and you didn't see it, you're still going to have to go and turn your whole screen on.
The S4 does something very similar with some of their cases. There's a hole in it, so it's got the clock that's just showing through, and just that portion of the screen is turned on.
Is that a cool feature? Do people like that?
If they want to cover on their screen, then yeah.
I mean, I actually hate those Samsung covers. I think they're dumb. So, I mean, would people use it? Do people like it because it's a cover, or do people like it because it gives them information through the cover?
They like it because it's different and nobody else has it.
As in, it's a cover that's attached to the phone?
As in, look what my phone can do and your iPhone can't.
Well, apparently not for long. Well, maybe the iPhone. They'll never get it. But I don't know. I think it's an interesting idea. I'm not so sure it's going to be very good in real life, I guess, is what my thoughts are.
It sounds kind of cool, but in reality, it's not really entirely useful.
Yeah. I mean, if you could activate that somehow, I don't know if it allows you to activate that with a special command, but I mean, like I said, a lot of the times when I get a notification, I'm not actually looking at my phone. So if I, have it sitting on my desk and I hear it across the room and it lights up and I didn't look at it, I'm still going to have to come over and look at the phone and turn on the whole screen anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll see. If anyone really wants a new Motorola phone, you can try it out this fall.
Okay, I've got something to interject here.
All right.
So everybody knows the NSA is capturing emails and can search through them and everything, right?
Yeah.
Right. They do not
Awesome
have
feature.
they do not have that feature available to their own internal email system.
What?
According to ProPublica, who did a FISA request. Wait, no, it's not a FISA. Freedom of Information, FIA, whatever. There is no central method to search an email at this time with the way our records are set up, unfortunately. So that means that they have excluded their own email system from their collection.
That's
That seems
convenient.
ridiculous.
But Congress and the president and everybody else is included in their system.
So they're basically saying we can spy on you guys, but we can't spy on ourselves?
Yep.
Okay.
They can only search email person by person. They cannot search in bulk.
Wait. Okay, I think so. So you're saying that you could still read like the internal emails, but you can't say here's all the emails from our internal company?
Say that they were wanting. They did a request to search. They filed a request for emails between NASA and employees of the National Geographic Channel over a specific time period.
Right.
So they can't search based on those requirements.
So, but you could search if you knew who the employees were. You could get in, then you could do that, right?
Yes, and you'd have to do the search one by one.
Okay.
But ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, especially if it was like a multi-person thing. I don't know. Maybe they have some way to tie all of that data together that I'm not aware of, but
Or they don't.
or they don't. Yeah. I mean, I actually heard something interesting going off of that a little bit. Is that apparently someone who used to deal in a lot of this stuff has said that. So you know how there's those FISA courts?
Yeah.
And the FISA courts are basically what approve or deny requests for access to PRISM or whatnot. Apparently, so everyone, the public image so far has been that the FISA courts have basically just been rubber stamping everything that comes through. And
Yes.
as that may be true, as in they do approve 100% of the requests, apparently it's not okay, we approve you to go do whatever you want type of thing. It's kind of a okay, we approve you to proceed with this, but before you go any further or before you get full access, we have to know more information. So like a lot of times there is some pushback, I guess, from those courts requesting more information from those people, even though they're still saying okay, go ahead and do it. They're not giving them full 100% access to that information.
According to who? The people making the requests. That's where that information comes from. And sorry, when the head of the NSA himself said, no, we are not recording anything, straight to Congress, I'm not going to believe a damn thing they say.
This is true, but I mean, there was also a FISA judge who left the FISA courts because he wasn't. It was kind of similar, but not really. He believed that the government was not giving an accurate representation of what was going on to the general public.
Then it is his duty to speak up and say, hey, media, this is what's going on. I was on it, and you need to report on it.
Well, I believe he has, and he has talked about it, but, you know, the way things are, it just hasn't caught on. Here we go. I think it's this guy, Judge Zagel. Possibly. Maybe this isn't him.
He is serving a term until 2015.
Yeah, it's not him. I don't know. In any case, I don't know. I still think that there's a lot of stuff we don't know about FISA, about the NSA, about PRISM, or whatever the hell it's called. And I think that some of the tech companies are actually being right and saying, hey, we should be releasing more information, and I think that the government should at least be telling us a little bit more than, no, we're not doing it. Because that's obviously a bold-faced lie.
Yeah.
Similar to how North Korea tried to sneak nuclear weapons through the Panama Canal.
They weren't nukes.
Yeah.
They were outdated missiles that they already have the technology to make. I mean, it's yes, they are technically importing weapons into North Korea, which is against UN regulations, and yes, they hid them in what was it, a container of rice.
A container of rice, I think it was.
And so they knew they were doing something they weren't supposed to, but whoop-de-doo, North Korea already has that technology.
Didn't Cuba also try to say that they were just shipping parts for North Korea to fix or something?
Yes.
Why would you send anything to North Korea to fix?
Because that's where they determined was the best place to fix it.
Because Cuba is
an ally with North Korea.
And isn't very well liked in the general world. So they may have been the only country to say, sure, we'll fix them for you. And please, please, please give us money and food.
Well, I think what I heard last was that North Korea was sending Cuba like sugar in exchange for those missiles.
Cuba doesn't need sugar.
Yeah, isn't that like why their biggest export? Next to cigars? Who knows? Let's see. Do you want to talk about hunting drones and possibly getting paid for it? Or do you want to talk about retail stores tracking customers with a smartphone's Wi-Fi? Or do you want to talk about Microsoft taking a $900 million hit on Surface RT?
Well, the drone thing is kind of worthless because one, it's destruction of federal property.
Well,
Two,
yeah, that's all I was really gonna say is it's pointless because it's destruction.
it's great publicity. It has no merit because the government will still charge you, and you can't point to local regulations saying you can't do this. No, you can't do this.
Yeah.
So basically,
I mean, the local government can do whatever they want, but first of all, you can't destroy federal property. Second of all, I really don't think you're going to hit a drone with a shotgun.
That would be impressive.
So, I mean, I think this is all. It like you said, it's good publicity.
Somebody's gonna get in a Cessna and chase one down and shoot it with a shotgun.
I hope that happens.
That would be impressive,
that would be
and I would
really funny. So if you're not too busy shooting down drones and you spend a lot of time shopping at the mall, apparently some retail stores have announced or released some information that they are actually tracking customer behavior based on the Wi-Fi on their smartphone.
Cisco actually has this built in to some of their newer products, and it's actually a really cool API that you can build on top of that you can map out your store. And customers can, like if you're at a massive furniture store, you can say, I want to go see this. And you search for it. It'll show you exactly where it is in the store. It'll give you a little walking map to it. You could scan the product from your phone to make a wish list. So, I mean, sure, if they're tracking you based on your Wi-Fi, really, who cares?
Well,
I mean,
yeah. So,
what information do they gather by tracking somebody walking around a store?
In your example, that's all opt-in, though. In this example, though, apparently, so if you leave the Wi-Fi on your smartphone, it will go out every now and then and search for Wi-Fi networks.
Yes.
And apparently that's how this is doing it, is that if you send out a request to a retail store, the retail store will log your MAC address, and then it will apparently track you around the store. And we're not talking just, oh, you're in the store. Apparently it can track you down to, oh, you're in aisle A5 or something like that. And so they're talking like exact location, and apparently this is happening in like Nordstrom. So what it does is the sensors would then make note of the device's MAC address and use it to identify and follow the device as it moves around the store. And then information about how frequently that MAC address visits the store, which departments it visits when in the store, and how long it stays in each department, as well as how long it stays in the store. It tracks all that information. And I mean...
So it's a heat map with a little bit more personalized.
Yeah.
I mean, they're grabbing your MAC address. I can grab MAC addresses of everybody who lives in my building. It's something that publicly gets spread out. I know Google got shit on for logging everything and storing the MAC addresses, but every privacy agency out there pretty much said this is a non-issue. I mean, I don't see it as being a big of a deal.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they're doing it if they're trying to identify exactly who is who and doing a specific targeting ads in the real world, like mailing. But I mean, if you walk into a store and and your phone automatically connects to an open Wi-Fi because, well, that's what stupid people have their phone set up to do.
Yeah.
So they might launch a web page and say, and give you a coupon right there, specifically target at you. I think that's as far as something like that can go without having a specific name and address, because somebody's not going to try to personalize an ad when they don't know exactly who they're sending it to.
Correct, and I think part of the end goal of this is that by collecting this information about what departments you're visiting, how long you're at each department, and junk like that. If you go to any other departments, they think that they can identify you very, very closely, like to your demographic, and then by that benefit, if you visit the store again, eventually the retailers are promising that they'll be able to give you a product recommendations basically as soon as you walk in the store. Whether it pops up on your phone or whether it says there's a billboard that says, "Oh, welcome back, customer. Would you like to see blah 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 we have on sale?"
So kind of like Minority Report, where they do the retina tracking, and you can get specific sales. Welcome back, so and so.
Yes, that's the promise. It sounds like of this type of technology. And then, I mean, on the second level, though, I mean, you say, yeah, it's not a big deal that people are tracking me, and sure, it might help if I'm getting better ads or they're saying what's on sale. But I mean, on top of that, it wouldn't be a big leap to say, well, we can tie this MAC address, which was in Department X, with a face, because, you know, all of these department stores have cameras in them as well. They could easily start to begin to tie people, actual people, to their devices through the cameras, which could begin to be a little concerning. So basically, if you don't want to be tracked, don't leave your Wi-Fi on when you leave your house.
Granted, why would you leave on your Wi-Fi anyway? Because it drains the battery a bit more.
Yeah, but it's also convenient when you come back home because then your Wi-Fi is back on.
You could leave the GPS on and do a GPS-based Wi-Fi turn on.
Yeah, that's true. You could do that too. There are some other options out there, so just be aware. Ooh. Well, I don't think we're going to get to the rest of the Microsoft stuff or the new upgrade plans for cell phones.
I would like to make a shout out to the viewer who made a comment saying that we had good stuff. Thank you. Thank you very much. Our one viewer that wasn't Ryan. If somebody actually makes it this far into the podcast, they deserve something. But
you can pat yourself on the back and leave us a comment about something you want us to actually talk about.
John and Matt, you don't count. And Jerry, you don't count either.
So on that note, we will be back in 2 weeks.
Peace.